Let's dive right into the latest meta-analysis on late-window IV thrombolysis when mechanical thrombectomy isn't an option.
We all face this dilemma, managing an acute ischemic stroke when thrombectomy is logistically or geographically out of reach. Günkan and colleagues looked at 8 RCTs with over 1,700 patients to give us some solid, robust data. It's a solid cohort. Notably, half the subjects had unwitnessed stroke onsets, really challenging our traditional time-based criteria.
The efficacy data is compelling. Late-window IVT significantly bumped up the odds of achieving an excellent functional outcome.
We also saw a strong likelihood of hitting a good functional outcome, meaning an MRS of 0 to 2.
This ordinal analysis clearly confirms that definitive shift toward 90-day functional independence compared to standard medical care.
But as you'd expect, this clinical efficacy is heavily counterbalanced by a sharply increased risk of symptomatic intracranial hemorrhage.
Despite that bleeding risk, the slight bump in 90-day all-cause mortality for the IVT group wasn't statistically significant.
Secondary outcomes like recanalization and early neurologic improvement also strongly favored the intervention, confirming the therapeutic mechanism.
So given this safety profile, how do we accurately identify the patients who will actually derive the most benefit?
Interestingly, sub-analyses show perfusion imaging yielded statistically significant functional benefits, whereas DWI-FLAIR mismatch simply didn't reach significance.
The study also compared specific agents, pitting tenecteplase directly against traditional alteplase protocols to figure out optimal strategies.
Both agents demonstrated significant efficacy, though tenecteplase did show a slightly higher odds ratio for excellent clinical outcomes.
Crucially, this increased hemorrhage risk only reached statistical significance for alteplase, completely sparing the tenecteplase cohort.
Of course, we must interpret these findings alongside limitations like varied standard care and geographic constraints on tenecteplase.
The key takeaway? Late-window IVT improves functional outcomes in thrombectomy-restricted areas, especially when guided by advanced perfusion imaging.
Considering this definitive risk-benefit calculation, how is your institution going to adapt its protocols for unknown onset strokes?